The space station was always loud. Metal floors rang under fast shoes. Bright screens shouted prices. Ships came and went like restless birds. A rich man walked through the central hall. His name was Elias. People moved aside when they saw his fine coat and calm guards. He was known across the station. A man of money, power, and cold decisions. Beside him walked his young son, Noah. The boy held his father's hand. His eyes were wide, curious, and gentle. Unlike his father, Noah looked at everything, not just what was important. They passed shops, workers, travelers, and then they passed a corner that most people avoided. Near a broken wall, under a flickering light, sat a beggar woman. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her hair was long and messy. Dust covered her skin. Most people did not even see her. They walked faster. Some turned their heads away. Elias did the same. He tightened his grip on Noah's hand. "This place is not safe," he said. "Don't look." But Noah slowed down, then he stopped. Elias took 2 more steps before he noticed. He turned back, annoyed. "Noah, come on." The boy did not move. His eyes were fixed on the woman, not on her clothes. Not on the dirt, but on her face. The woman was looking at the ground. Her shoulders were tired, yet something about her was calm, like she was not broken inside. Noah leaned closer to his father and whispered softly, "Dad, she's beautiful." The words hit Elias like a sudden silence. Around them, the station noise seemed to fade. Elias felt heat rise to his face. People nearby slowed down. Some laughed quietly. "Beautiful?" Elias said sharply, "She is a beggar. Don't say strange things." But Noah did not look away. "She looks sad," the boy said, "but strong." The woman slowly lifted her head. Her eyes met Noah's. They were not weak. They were deep and clear, like someone who had seen too much. She smiled gently, not a smile asking for money, not a smile begging for pity, but a quiet smile of thanks. "Thank you, little one," she said. Her voice was soft, yet it carried through the noise. Elias felt uncomfortable. Something about her voice felt wrong, or maybe too right. "Let's go," Elias said quickly. He pulled Noah's hand again. But this time, the boy resisted. "Dad," Noah said, "why does everyone ignore her?" Elias opened his mouth, then closed it. He had no simple answer. A guard nearby scoffed. "Because she is nothing," he said. "Just another station rat." The woman did not react. She only looked at the guard calmly, as if his words had no power over her. That made Elias uneasy. Most beggars begged. Most feared guards. She did neither. Noah stepped closer to the woman. Elias reached out to stop him, but hesitated. The woman noticed the fear in Elias's eyes. "You don't need to be afraid," she said. "I won't harm your child." "How do you know?" Elias asked coldly. She looked at him, really looked at him. "You protect what you love," she said. "So do I." Those words stayed in the air, heavy and strange. Noah smiled. "What's your name?" he asked. The woman paused for a moment. Pain crossed her face. "Names are hard," she said. "When the galaxy forgets you," Elias frowned. "What do you mean?" She looked away. "Nothing you need to worry about." Yet, a loud alarm echoed in the station. Security drones flew past overhead. The woman slowly stood up. Despite her weak look, her movement was steady. "Remember this moment," she said softly to Noah. "Kindness always leaves a mark." Then she walked into the crowd and disappeared. Elias stood frozen, his heart beating faster than it should. Noah squeezed his hand. "Dad," the boy said. She wasn't just a beggar. Elias knew his son was right, and for the first time in many years, the rich man felt the future shift because of one small moment. That stopped time, asterisk. The crowd swallowed the woman like she was never there. Elias stood still, staring at the moving people. The station noise returned slowly, loud and careless. "Dad, where did she go?" Noah asked. His small hand was still holding his father's coat. "She's gone," Elias said. But his eyes kept searching. They continued walking, but the rhythm was broken. Elias felt it in his steps. Something inside him felt unsettled. They reached their private lift, the doors closed with a soft hiss. Glass walls showed the massive station outside. Floating lights, ships, stars. Noah was quiet now. "Too quiet, Dad," he finally said. "She didn't ask for anything." Elias looked down at him. "What do you mean?" "She didn't ask for money," Noah said, "or food. She just talked." Elias had no answer. Most beggars begged. That was the rule of the station. That was how things worked. When they reached their residence level, guards opened the doors. Warm light filled the hallway. Clean floors, silent air. Luxury felt heavy tonight. Elias dismissed the guards early, something he rarely did. He wanted silence. At dinner, Noah barely touched his food. He kept thinking. His spoon moved slowly, Dad. Noah said again, "Why was she alone?" Elias sighed. "The galaxy is not kind," he said. "Some people fall behind." But she didn't feel weak. Noah replied, "She felt old." That word made Elias pause. Old did not mean age. It meant experience. That night, after Noah slept, Elias opened his private terminal. He typed the location where they met the woman. Station Sector 9, broken wall. Security logs appeared. Cameras, reports, warnings. One file caught his attention. No unauthorized life forms detected. Elias frowned. The woman had been right there. He zoomed in on the footage. The camera showed the wall, the light, the floor, but not the woman. His heart skipped. He checked another camera and another. Nothing. Yet dozens of people passed through. "Clear as day." "That's impossible," Elias whispered. A soft sound behind him made him turn. Noah stood at the doorway, rubbing his eyes. "I had a dream," the boy said. She was crying. Elias felt a chill. "Go back to bed," he said gently. But after Noah slept again, Elias could not stop thinking. He searched deeper, older records, restricted files. A warning flashed. Galactic Watch, classified. Elias hesitated, then used his highest access code. A single symbol appeared on the screen, an ancient mark, not human. Below it were words that made his blood run cold. "Observer species non-hostile, memory bearer." Elias leaned back, his mind racing. Memory bearer meant one thing, a living witness. Someone who remembered what the galaxy wanted forgotten. A sudden alert sounded. Unauthorized movement detected in Sector 9. Elias grabbed his coat. He did not wake the guards. He did not think. He moved fast. Through lifts and corridors, back toward the broken wall. The area was darker now. Lights flickered weaker. The air felt tense. Then he saw her. The woman stood near the shadows, two station enforcers blocking her path. Their weapons were raised. "You don't belong here," one of them said. "Show your ID." She did not argue. She did not run. She only looked tired. Elias stepped forward without thinking. "She's with me," he said loudly. Both enforcers turned, surprised. The woman looked at Elias. A small, sad smile touched her lips. "You should not be here," she said softly. Elias swallowed. "Neither should they," he replied. Above them, unseen by most, a small red light blinked to life. Galactic Watch had noticed, and the beggar who did not beg was no longer invisible. The station slept, but Elias did not. He sat alone in the dark. The city of metal and light hummed softly outside his window. Stars drifted slowly, cold and distant. His mind stayed at the broken wall, at the woman's calm eyes, at the way she stood without fear below his window. Patrol ships passed in silence. Galactic Watch ships. Their lights were faint, but their meaning was heavy. Elias had seen those ships before. They never came for nothing. Behind him, a small sound broke the silence. Noah stood in the doorway again, holding a small toy ship. "She's in trouble," the boy said quietly. Elias turned, surprised. "What makes you say that?" Noah looked down. "She was hiding," he said. "But not from people." That answer sent a chill through Elias. Children sometimes saw things adults missed. "Go back to bed," Elias said gently. I promise I'll explain later, Noah. Nodded slowly, but before leaving he added, She wasn't lost, Dad. She was waiting. The door closed. And Elias felt the weight of those words settle deep inside him. He turned back to his terminal, unlocked deeper layers of data. Warnings flashed again, but he ignored them. Old files opened, ancient conflicts, forgotten alliances. He found a name. Buried under centuries of dust. A race erased from history, not by war, but by silence. They were called the Aurelists, observers of life, guardians of memory. The file described them as peaceful, rare and dangerous only because they remembered too much. One line stood out. Humans once protected the Aurelists during the first expansion. Elias frowned. He had never learned that in any history class. Another line followed. When humans grew powerful, the galaxy rewrote the story. Elias felt anger rise. Not loud anger, but quiet and sharp. A sudden alert blinked red. Unauthorized access detected. Before Elias could react, the lights in the room dimmed, then returned. A soft voice spoke behind him. You are digging where you should not, Elias. Spun around. The woman stood near the wall. No guards, no doors open. She was just there. How did you get in here? Elias demanded. She looked tired, but calm. Doors are ideas, she said. Not limits. Elias took a step back. Who are you? She met his eyes. I am what remains, she said. Of a people who remembered kindness. Elias swallowed. The Aurelists, he whispered. Her eyes softened. You remember, she said. Most humans don't. You're being hunted, Elias said. Galactic Watch is here. She nodded slowly. They always come when memory wakes. Elias clenched his fists. Why hide as a beggar? She looked toward the stars outside the window. Because the galaxy does not fear the weak, she said. It fears truth. A distant rumble echoed through the station. Ships moving into position. They will take you, Elias said. And erase you, she smiled sadly. They have tried before. Elias hesitated. Then asked the question burning inside him. Why did my son see you? She stepped closer, lowered her voice. Because children see before they judge. At that moment, Noah's door slid open again. The boy stood there, eyes wide. She came back. He whispered. The woman turned to him, kneeling slowly. You should not be afraid, she said. I'm not, Noah replied. You're still beautiful. Something changed in the room. A soft vibration, almost like a breath, outside. Galactic Watch ships powered weapons, sensors locked onto the residence. Elias felt the truth crash into him. This was no longer about a beggar, or a mistake. This was about a choice. Protect memory, or let the galaxy decide what humans were allowed to remember. And somewhere deep inside, Elias realized humanity was being tested again. The warning sirens did not scream, they whispered. A low sound that only important people noticed. Elias felt it in his chest before he heard it. The lights in the residence shifted to emergency blue. Outside the window, 3 Galactic Watch ships locked into position. Silent, perfect, dangerous. The woman rose slowly from her kneeling position. Her calm never left her face. They have found me, she said. Noah stepped closer to his father. Are they bad? He asked. Elias did not answer at first. He was watching the ships, measuring time, calculating risk. They don't like people who remember, Elias finally said. The woman looked at him with surprise. You understand faster than most, she said. A sharp knock echoed through the room. Metal against metal, authority without anger. Elias Vorn, a voice called from the door. Open immediately. Elias felt his throat tighten. Galactic Watch never knocked twice. The woman turned toward the inner corridor. I will leave, she said. You and the child should not be punished, Noah said suddenly. Both adults turned to him. She didn't do anything wrong. The door shook again, this time stronger. Elias made a decision he never thought he would make. He moved, blocking the woman with his body. She stays, Elias said. Even he was surprised by his own voice. The woman studied him, as if weighing his soul. "You do not know what that costs," she said softly. "I know what walking away costs," Elias replied. The door slid open with force. 3 watch officers entered, tall, armored, faces hidden behind dark visors. "Step aside," the lead officer ordered. "That life form is under council recall. She's under my protection," Elias said, his voice steady now. The officer paused. "Humans do not have that authority." Noah looked up at the officers. "Why do you want her?" he asked. The officers ignored him, their weapons charged quietly. The woman stepped forward. "Because I remember when humans saved us," she said. When the galaxy looked away, the officers hesitated, just for a moment. Elias noticed it. "Fear. You carry Forbidden's memory." The officer said, "Memory creates doubt, and doubt creates truth." The woman replied. Suddenly, alarms erupted across the station. Not watch alarms, civilian alarms. Elias's terminal lit up automatically. Public feeds opened. People were watching. Dock workers, merchants, families. Someone had leaked the encounter. Across the station, humans stopped. They saw a woman standing calmly, surrounded by weapons. "She's just a beggar," someone said on the feed. "No, another voice replied. "She looks like someone worth protecting." The watch officer turned sharply. End transmission. But it was too late. The signal spread. Fast, unstoppable. Noah squeezed his father's hand. "They're looking now," he said. Outside the residence, doors opened. Humans gathered, not shouting, not violent, just standing. Between the watch and the woman, Elias felt something he had not felt in years. Pride. The woman closed her eyes briefly. "I did not expect this," she admitted. "Neither did we," Elias said. The watch officer received a silent command. He stiffened, weapons powered higher. "If you proceed," he warned, "you will mark your species." Elias looked at the crowd on the feed, at his son, at the woman who carried forgotten truth. "Then mark us," Elias said. The station went quiet. Even the watch hesitated. For the first time in centuries, humans did not step aside and far beyond the station. In the cold halls of the Galactic Council, eyes turned toward humanity again. The station did not explode into chaos. It became still, too still. Humans stood in lines across the corridors, workers in worn clothes, merchants in clean coats, pilots, cleaners, guards. They did not shout, they did not attack, they simply refused to move. Galactic watch officers adjusted their stance. They were trained for fear, for violence, not for silence. Elias stood at the front. His heart beat hard, but his voice stayed calm. "You want her," he said. "You will have to go through us." The lead watch officer tilted his head. "Human life is not part of this order," he replied. "Step aside." The woman moved forward slowly, her hands open, her posture gentle. "Do not punish them," she said. "I will go." Noah grabbed her hand, small fingers tight. "No," he said. "You promised kindness leaves a mark." The words spread through the crowd, whispers turning into understanding. Elias knelt beside his son. "This is bigger than us," he said softly. "I know." Noah replied, "That's why we can't run." The watch officer received another silent signal. His weapon hummed louder, red light glowing. At that moment, a dock worker stepped forward, then another, then 10 more. "We saw the feed," the worker said. "She didn't beg." A medic raised her voice. "She's injured," a trader added. "She's calm because she trusts us," the woman's eyes widened. She had seen wars, extinction, but she had never seen this. The watch officer scanned the growing crowd. Threat levels rose. Civilian resistance flagged across the system. "Your species is becoming unpredictable," he warned. Elias stood taller. "Maybe," he said, "but we are still human." Across the station, doors opened, private channels connected. Messages spread beyond the sector, on distant human colonies. Screens lit up. People watched and remembered stories their history never taught them. A watch drone floated lower, projecting the symbol of the Galactic Council. A cold voice filled the air. This individual is classified. Release her immediately. The woman stepped forward again. Her voice steady. I carry memory. She said, of when humans stood alone. Of when they chose mercy over power. The council voice paused. A rare thing. Elias felt it then. This was no longer about saving one life. It was about who humans were becoming. Noah looked up. At the projection, why are you scared of remembering? He asked. Silence answered him. The watch officer lowered his weapon slightly. Confusion flickered in his movements. The woman touched Elias's arm. If this ends badly, she said, know that your species changed the story. Elias shook his head. It doesn't end badly, he said. Not anymore. A signal burst across the station. Human ships powered engines, not weapons, shields. They positioned themselves between the watch fleet and civilian zones. The council voice returned, sharper now. Humans are exceeding their role. Elias smiled faintly. Roles are chosen, he replied, not assigned. The woman closed her eyes. Something ancient stirred. A soft glow traced faint symbols along her skin. Visible for the first time, the crowd gasped, not in fear, but in awe. She's not hiding, someone whispered. She's trusting us. The watch officer stepped back one full step, protocol broken, far away. In the halls of the Galactic Council, arguments erupted. Predictions failed, old data shattered. Humans were not acting like expected creatures. They were not chasing power. They were not demanding reward. They were standing together for someone with nothing except memory. And as the station lights slowly returned to normal, one truth became clear. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, not because humans were strong, but because they were kind. The Galactic Council chamber was silent, not the calm silence of peace, but the heavy silence of surprise. Tall beings of many worlds sat in circles of light. Holograms floated in the center, showing the human station from every angle. Humans standing together, unarmed, unafraid. This is unexpected, one counselor said, its voice thin and sharp. They are acting on emotion, another replied. Emotion fades, but the image did not change. Humans were still there, still standing. Back on the station, time moved slowly. Every breath felt loud. Elias stood with his son close. The woman beside them, her glow had faded, but her presence felt stronger now. The watch officers had stopped advancing, weapons still active, but uncertain. Noah looked around. Are they thinking? He asked quietly. Yes, Elias said. And they don't like it. A deep hum filled the air. The council projection expanded, larger, brighter. Human representative, the council voice said. You are interfering with galactic balance. Elias stepped forward. I am protecting someone who cannot protect herself. She is not helpless. The voice replied. She shouldn't have to be strong to deserve safety, Elias said. The chamber fell quiet again. The woman finally spoke. Her voice calm but heavy. You erased my people, she said, not with weapons, but by teaching the galaxy to forget. A counselor shifted. That was necessary, it said. For order, another added. For control. She corrected. The hologram shifted. Old images appeared. Ancient human ships, small, damaged, standing between the Auralus and a larger fleet. Gasps echoed through the chamber. This record was sealed, a counselor said. Yes, the woman replied. By you, on the station. Humans watched the feed. Some cried, some held hands, some stood taller. Elias felt something break inside him. Not pain, but pride. Noah spoke again, his voice small but clear. You said memory causes trouble, he said to the projection. But forgetting causes pain. The council hesitated. Children were not part of their plans. The watch commander lowered his weapon fully, a clear sign of doubt. If we let her go, a counselor said, others will remember. That is the point. The woman replied. The chamber filled with quiet discussion, languages overlapping, logic fighting fear. Time passed. longer than anyone expected. Finally, the central light brightened. "The council will vote," the voice announced. On the station, no one moved, no one spoke. Elias knelt beside Noah. "No matter what happens," he said, "you did the right thing." Noah nodded. "I just told the truth." The vote began. Lights changed color. Slowly, one by one, the final count appeared. Closer than any vote in centuries, decision pending. Woman closed her eyes. "If they choose fear," she said softly, "do not regret this." Elias shook his head. "We won't." The central light flashed. The council has reached a decision. Every screen focused. Every breath paused. Observer Auralist status revised. Termination order suspended. A wave of sound moved through the station. Not shouting, not celebration, relief. The watch officer stepped back fully, weapons powered down. The woman opened her eyes for the first time. Tears fell freely. "But this is not mercy," the council voice continued. "It is a warning." Elias stood tall. "We're listening. Humanity will now be watched." The voice said, closely. The projection faded. Ships withdrew slowly. The station lights returned to normal. But nothing felt normal anymore. Noah looked up at the woman. "So, you're safe?" She smiled gently. "For now," she said, "because you reminded the galaxy who humans are." And far beyond the station, among the stars, a new question spread quietly. What happens when humanity refuses to forget? The station did not cheer. It breathed, like a living thing finally allowed to rest. People slowly stepped back, not because they were told to, but because the moment had passed. Elias watched as workers returned to their posts. Merchants reopened stalls. Children laughed again. Yet something had changed. The air felt warmer. Noah still held the woman's hand, as if afraid she might disappear again. "You stayed," he said, a small smile on his face. "Yes," she replied softly, "because you asked me to be seen." Elias studied her closely now, without fear, without distance. "You're not just a memory bearer," he said. "You're a witness." She nodded. "My people were chosen to remember," she said. "But memory alone is not enough. What else is needed?" Elias asked. "Someone willing to listen," she replied. Days passed. The station returned to its rhythm, but the story did not fade. Across human worlds, the images spread. A beggar standing calmly. Humans standing together. History channels reopened old archives. Teachers asked new questions. Children asked better ones. The Galactic Council watched closely, as promised, but what they saw confused them. Humans did not demand reward. They did not build statues. They did not name holidays. They simply changed how they treated the unseen. The woman was given a place to stay. Not hidden, not honored above others, just safe one evening. She and Elias stood near the same broken wall where they first met. The light above it had been repaired, the floor cleaned. "They fixed this place," she said, a hint of wonder in her voice. "People fix what they notice," Elias replied. Noah ran ahead, laughing, his joy light and free. "You never told us your real name." Elias said. She smiled. "It is hard to say in human sound," she replied. "But you can call me Luma." "That means light," Noah said proudly. He had looked it up. Luma laughed softly. "Then it fits." Elias turned serious. "What happens now?" "Now," Luma said, "my duty changes." She looked toward the stars. "My people watched and remembered," she said. "But humanity does something different." "What's that?" Elias asked. "You act," she replied, "even when it costs you." That night, a simple message was sent from Luma, not to rulers, not to fleets, but to anyone listening. It told a short story about a child who stopped and a species that followed. The message spread quietly. Through trade routes, through refugee channels, through forgotten corners of the galaxy, other species watched, some with fear, some with hope. The Galactic Council received reports, worlds questioning old laws, asking why memory was dangerous. For the first time, The galaxy did not look only at human strength, but at human choice. Elias sat with Noah that night, looking at the stars. Did we change the galaxy? Noah asked. Elias smiled. No, he said. We reminded it. Of what? Noah asked. That even the smallest moment matters. Luma stood behind them, her eyes reflecting distant suns. Your species was never forgotten, she said. Softly, it was underestimated, and far away, beyond councils and fleets, a quiet truth took root. Humanity did not rise because it was powerful. Humanity rose because it noticed, because a child saw beauty where others saw nothing, and because a species chose kindness. The galaxy would remember that.